Hi there, I'm Ken Wood. I'm the Shadow Cabinet Member for Housing at Birmingham City Council, and I'm here to talk about housing.
Yes, I'm Councillor Deirdre Alden, and I'm the Conservative Councillor in Edgbaston in Birmingham. I'm also the Shadow Cabinet Member for Environment.
Hello, I'm Councillor Adam Higgs, and I'm out on Hyters Road today on what is a very wet and drizzly day, just to talk a little bit about social housing.
Well, I was elected to the council in 1999, and I've seen some big changes to housing since that time. Gone up and gone down a bit, I'm afraid, at the moment.
Now, I'm very, very passionate about housing and have been for about 30 years. Now, I'm one of the few councillors that have been kicking about this building long enough. I can remember way back on the run up to 2004, when Labour were running the council at the time, when the housing stock was in such a sad state that the Labour Party at the time tried to push through stock transfer. Stock transfer, there was back in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was a big drive by many local authorities who had failed, funnily enough, to look after their housing stock, to basically offload them. And that's how a lot of the housing associations came about.
When I was first elected, I'll be honest with you, some of the properties I went in to talk to residents before I was elected, they just were appalling, and people had catalogues of complaints about their own repairs, which were not being dealt with.
Now, luckily, all the tenants decided to vote against it, and that left Labour in a bit of a quandary. But stock transfer was a way of offloading the housing problem onto somebody else. We took control in 2004, along with the Liberal Democrats, and at that time, millions of pounds of Brummie rent was going to London to be redistributed to bail out areas like Manchester and Liverpool. Well, we came in, we changed that. We stopped it, we bailed out of that scheme that was in place and took full control of our own council stock. And in doing that, we piled millions of pounds into bringing that housing stock back up to decent home standard.
We spent so much money on bringing the homes up to decent home standard, and they were places that people were proud to live in, and we were proud to be landlords, and I could walk around estates and feel really pleased, and you could see the difference that we'd made, and it's so much better for people's lives.
Now, that didn't happen overnight, and it'd be wrong for me to claim that it did. So between 2004 and 2012, we managed to get our housing stock to a state that 99% of it met the decent home standard.
I mean, in some of the tower blocks in Edgbaston, we had CCTV put in, and so they could see who was creating antisocial behaviour. Labour have taken that out.
To bringing the houses up to decent home standard. So that was new roofs, new windows, etc., central heating, gas boilers. So then we jumped forward to 2012 when Labour took control again. And unfortunately, they didn't carry out or carry on with the work and the level of investment that we had put in place.
Unfortunately, since Labour got in again in 2012, the standard of the homes has gone right down again. We get problems with damp, we get problems with mould, and all sorts of problems like that are not being dealt with. Repairs aren't being dealt with properly.
The largest problem is usually in relation to repairs.
We have homes that are falling apart, we've got homes that got damp.
So residents have said to me they're appalled. There was CCTV there which they felt protected them, which they felt stopped antisocial behaviour, stopped people fly tipping outside the block, and that's gone.
Outdated kitchen and needs updating. Again, that's been a big issue in the past.
We've got homes that are not thermally efficient. The list goes on and on and on and on. So here we are in 2024, when only 60% of our housing stock now meets decent home standards. We need to be building homes that people who are working and want to work can actually afford to live in. And that's the other thing that this council has been dreadful at, in fact abysmal. They've got in place currently a requirement that 35% of any houses built on developments that are big enough, 35% should be affordable. They have failed miserably to get anywhere near that percentage. In fact, in the centre of town, where we've been building big glossy tower blocks and apartments, in some cases that has dropped as low as 9%. That is not going to solve our housing crisis. That is not going to help the thousands of people who are on the housing waiting list.
But also, it does need money spent. It needs repairs to be done promptly. That you should treat other people the way you wish to be treated yourself. And if you live in a property that needs repair, we should repair it. I think constantly kicking the can down the road is grossly unfair to our tenants. You leave it 2 years and then you've got, a flood everywhere, and so I think we need to deal promptly with things. Firstly, to protect our property, but secondly, to make life better for the people that live in it.
I think Birmingham needs to get its act together. Birmingham is capable of running housing properly. It just needs the right management.
And people are very unhappy, and it's a shame because it could be good housing stock. It was good housing stock, and it's been let to go again.
Where you've actually got to manage the houses and the people who live in them. And that's the very job that the council should be doing. But again, I've been failing quite badly in doing that. So there's lots of opportunities, but there's lots of failings.